What's up, dudes? My name is J Bob, and today I'm going to be teaching you, yes you, how to draw one of the TMNT characters. And we're going to be starting off with Mikey here, and for this lesson I'm just going to basically be focusing on one of the more challenging areas of the body, and that's going to be the face. And then I think in later lessons, depending on how well this series goes over, I might move on to the body and show you how to draw the shells and everything like that. But just for today, we're going to focus on the face. And since I like Mikey the best, we're going to go with him. Yes, I like him. He's my favorite. So anyways, I'm going to zoom in here on my reference a little bit and move. There we go. So I can get a bit. I'm half blind. I can't see very well anymore. Okay, so when you're drawing the face of a character, for example, if you're drawing a human character, you typically would start off with a little oval, like so. And there's different variations and techniques you can use to setting this up, but I usually like to just draw a straight line down the middle, or relatively close to the middle, and then you figure out where the forehead's at, and then you draw a line for where the brow is at, and then just under the eye where the cheekbone's at, maybe draw a line here and here for the bridge of the nose. I can't remember what this area is called, but then you draw another line a little bit ways down here. Draw two more lines for the nose. Draw two more lines for the rest of the nose. And then draw maybe the laugh lines, and then bring a line across here for the mouth, and then you get the couple orbs in here for where the eye sockets are. Now there is a technique called the 5 eyes. I probably shouldn't even be talking about that because it has nothing to do with this, but we might use that technique in this drawing. But the 5 eyes technique is you basically have 5 eyes distance between the ears and the eyeballs for the size of the head, roughly about this size, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you bring the ears down. That's basically a quick little head. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, anyways, that's the basic way to draw a human head. Now for the Ninja Turtles, the more modern Ninja Turtles anyways, it's kind of like a very flat circle. Like this. And we don't really need to finish that up. And then, like an oval. And it's an oval that changes shape depending on if they're smiling or whatnot. I should bring this up a little bit higher because Mikey's head's not that small. I can erase that later. It's perfectly fine. And the mask and the new characters typically makes up the side of the head. It takes up almost the entirety of the side of the head, I've noticed. Now that we got that basic shape set up, what you need to do is we need to figure out where he's looking at. Like, for example, if you wanted Mikey to be looking this way, you might want to draw the center guideline that I showed you before, that I'm going to basically set up like so, just to tell you where, just to show you where the center of the head is at. But if you wanted to have him looking this way, you would probably have that line going like this, or like this if you wanted to have him looking the other way. Anyways, now those basic principles I showed you with drawing a human head still apply here. It's just a little bit different. You're going to want to figure out where the top of the mask is, which with Mikey here, it's right about here. Just a little gentle curving line. And then you don't have to follow that line that picture I got up there. If you want to do just a basic start, you can just bring a curving line here and another curving line up to here-ish. And that's pretty much it. Now we need to figure out where the mouth is. Now with Ninja Turtles, their mouths can be, especially with the new ones, their mouths can be very small, like here-ish and here-ish. You know, they can have like these little pensive frowns. Almost an anime kind of thing. But with Mikey up here, you can notice that his mouth is curving from here all the way to here. You got this nice little devious grin with the eyebrows. He doesn't have eyebrows, does he? I never. You know, I never thought about that. Do the turtles have eyebrows? That's a good question. Anyways, what you're gonna want to. Sorry. In 36 of my years of my life, I've never asked that question. Do the TMNTs have body hair? All right. Anyways, oh, I'm an idiot. What we're gonna want to do here is basically we're gonna have to establish where the mouth is. So you're gonna want to take this little curving line. So many curving lines. Mikey is so curvy. Basically like that little curving line. And then you kind of curl it at the corners. And that's basically it for the mouth. I might want to clean that up, but I'm going to do another layer here in a minute and draw over it. This is just guidelines, so it doesn't really matter. Why did I do that? That line's going to be erased anyways. Now, if you notice, there's this little gap between the eyes, and depending on the generation of the TMNT characters, that is bigger or smaller. But it's quite a good distance. There's this nice little wedge, and I think the artist might have used the 5 eyes principle here that I was talking about, but it might be the 3 eyes in this one, because if you notice, there's like a little space here, a little space here, and then something like this. You have this little space in between. And I would recommend, if you're drawing this for the first time, to place these little guidelines right here just to tell you right where you should be putting the eyes. Now, I like to, when I draw things like this, to keep the eyes aligned with each other. Put this line right here. Kind of like the bridge of the nose or the snout, whatever you want to call it, the beak. And continue that across right here. This will be like the edges of the eyes. That way you can keep them centered. Now, Mikey has these 2 distinct little eyes. He has this little line that comes up here, and then an arching, curving line that comes down like so. We're going to attach it right there. Just going to have another little line that comes in. And that's basically the way the TMNT eyes are basically formed. Basically. Everything is basic with me. Like so. There's like 4 lines. 2 small ones here and 2 small ones here. Sometimes there's up to 6 little lines depending on the expression on the face, but with Mikey here, there's 4 curving lines like that. Now that is the basic shape of any TMNT, well, the new 2012 TMNT eye. Now, they've thrown us a curveball over here. On the other side, Mikey is looking devilish and devious. Devious? Devious is what I meant to say. So, you're going to basically want to draw, again, I'm using the word basic, you're going to want to draw a little half moon shape, like so. Bring it up a little bit higher. Bring it down, and boop, there we go. And then you're going to want to do like so. Another half moon shape right here. There we go. Now, that's another curious thing. I noticed that Mikey has earbuds tucked up underneath his mask, which I might just draw in here like so. And there we go. That's good enough. Where's his ears at? You know, are they just little holes in the side of his head? Questions, questions, questions. Always with the questions. All right, now I'm going to take my guide picture and zoom out a little bit. Zoom out. Zoom out. Is that as far as it goes? Ah, there we go. Okay. Very good. Okay. Okay, I can move the piece of paper, maybe zoom in a little bit. All right, now we're going to want to try to establish the neck, which on this essentially starts somewhere around here-ish. You want to bring the line down here. Now, before I go on, I should probably tell you that on any character sketch or drawing, you want to establish where the spine is. And with the neck, you want to bring this little guideline down here. I got a little bit ahead of myself here. I'm sorry. And then we're going to bring a line right here because he's hunching his shoulders just a little bit because he's a little bit excited. You're going to want to bring the spine down like this. Maybe a little bit of curve to it. I mean, if you know where you're going, that's fine. And then maybe, like I said, any drawing is all basic shapes. I do apologize. I'm kind of figuring out where the relation things are all positioned at and connected to, like so. Bring this over here like this. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm correcting myself as I'm going here. And that's all right. That's any piece of good art has correcting in it. You make mistakes, you erase it, you fix it. That's perfectly fine. With the shoulders, you probably are going to want to start out with something like a circle right here. And then maybe bring like just 2 lines down. If you're panned out a little bit further, you might want to draw a tube, because that's essentially what every drawing, foundational drawing, is built up of, is little circles. Like for this one, if you want to get technical, I probably should have drawn like a little circle, oval shape right here. Then maybe bring another half circle here. So that's basically how you set up the basic shape of the character. Now, you can't see the rest of his torso, but for argument's sake, if you wanted to have this picture drawn out further, you might want to draw like a circular shape right here for his torso, like so. See how that works? Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and start working on his chest, which is basically on a drawing of the character panned out. What you might want to do is draw these 6 boxes and then follow it up by a couple triangle wedge shapes like that. That would be your guidelines for the chest. That's basically a TMNT chest, torso, abdomen, crotch area. And you just basically chop off the edges of the box right here. Little line here, little line here, little line here, little line here. Bring it across like so. I'm screwing that line up so very badly, but it's just a little sketch. Now you want to add a line here for the belt. Widen her out. That's basically it for the chest. All right, we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. There we go. Okay. So since this thing is at a bit of an angle, we're going to use the same principles. And typically down here-ish, you're going to have the collarbone, which is right about there. Bring it up. Little curving line. And then for the new TMNT, I've noticed that the plate is almost right on top of the collarbone. So you're going to use the same principles, only you're going to be at an angle. You're probably going to want to go ahead, and I'm being a bit of a hypocrite here, you're probably going to want to draw those boxes and the center line. And I'm going to guesstimate here and say the top of the chest is right about the top. I mean the bottom. I'm in the bottom. I'm in the bottom. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. And there you have it. That is basically the setup for the chest. And I notice that they got these cool little lines that define the edges, like so. Boop, boop. Doo-doo-doo-doo. You know, and the cool thing about drawing is you don't have to completely follow the source material like I'm doing. Because what, you know, you might want to do your own design. Play with it a little bit. Goof around with it. Just figure out your own thing. Alright, now we're going to start working this thing in. Getting the last of the guidelines set in. Now that picture back there is a little bit on the dark side, but I know for a fact that they have a shell back here somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this like this. And yeah, maybe his neck is blocking that, so I'm not really going to worry about drawing the other side of the shell over there. But typically in the new cartoons, I've noticed that they have the shells broken up in segments back here, the ridge of the shell. Right here and over here as well. There's like this little center area that doesn't get shown. I don't know if there's like a little center line here or not. I might have to look at a different reference piece, but usually they're broken up like that. And you have a little dip line down here and little lines like that. And then sometimes a little line right here. So that is your guidelines for Mikey. Now, I've noticed that with the new TMNT, Michelangelo's, the back of his bandana, the mask, has these cute little these cute little tufts that stick out from the back of his mask, like so. Kind of like that. Isn't that sweet? But they're so short, and they're behind his head, and they don't do like they do in the old TMNTs where the bandana would be flowing and you'd see it at every single angle that they were drawing. Like, for example, you would probably have like part of the bandana flowing out like this in the old school drawings, but they don't do that anymore. They kind of take, you know, realism and proportions and distance and angles into account. Sorry, I had to drink my coffee there. And it's kind of frustrating because I don't like realism. Realism sucks. I don't know why. It just does. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in on my reference piece here. Why did I move it like that? Because I'm stupid. That's the answer. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and figure out the exact positioning of the mask, which the mask for Mikey, right, in this particular drawing, kind of follows an arch like this and comes up around like this. And then in this drawing, it starts somewhere right about here. You want to get this guideline wedged in there pretty good, and then you just basically have this arch like so, and you bring it back down like that, and that's the mask. Now the weird thing about TMNT, the new one, is that if they're frowning or they're in action, the mask can take a shape that's a little bit like this. See what I'm saying? And sometimes, you know, there might be a little section right here, especially if they're scrunching their face and their eyeballs are a little winced in anger. It could look like that. But Mikey's happy in this picture. He's jovial. Maybe he's been drinking too much coffee like me. Let's just get out of here. Get off my drawing. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and finish the old chrome dome up here. There we go. Now, eye positioning. This, like with any drawing, you can have the eyeballs anywhere. Like if Michelangelo is, kind of worried that there might be something behind him, he might, the pupil in the iris might be over here and over here, kind of like, ooh, what's behind me? But in this, he's looking straight on. And so we're going to want to just draw a nice little circle. I kind of screwed that up. Sorry about that. You're going to draw a nice little circle right here. Bring it through and up like so. Oh, he's looking so happy. And the same thing. Just draw this little circle inside the circle. And then playfully bring this little half moon shaped eyeball over here. I might want to bring that a little bit out further, like so. And then it's almost like a rainbow shape. I think this picture is from the episode where Mikey gets that MP3 player from Donnie. Ooh, I noticed there's like a little, they have the eyebrow in here, so what we're going to want to do is bring a second guideline right here and pop it in there like that. There we go. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Very nice. Very, very nice. Ooh. And then I'm going to want to fix this right here, so there we go. Here I am giving myself props for my drawing. I am awesome. Look at my precision. Precision? Precision. Oh, I speak gooder English. There we go. And that's pretty much just about it for the guidelines. Now what I'm going to want to do is, where's it at? 2 seconds. Layers. There we go. Oh, there we go. There's my layer box. Boop. Okay, I've started a new layer because I'm going to be drawing over top of this part right here. You notice the layer right here is on top of this layer. Now, if you're drawing with pencil on a piece of paper while you're following along with me, you might be a little bit screwed for this, but basically the idea is you might want to follow along by starting over these lines and just erasing the guidelines once you get the more bold lines in place. Or you might even want to start inking. Who knows? Anyways, I'm going to go ahead into my presets and I'm going to pick a darker pencil and just start. Get out of there. We're basically just going to start darkening these lines that we're working off of here with this photo reference. Just go over top of it, darken it in. And I'm going to want to be really careful in this part right here. You got to make this really gentle, arching line. Come down like that. And then finish it off over here. Curve it, curve it, curve it. Kermit? Curve it. I'm rambling. Too much coffee. Okay. Now I'm going to move my photo reference a little bit up so I can see the cheeks. Now, typically with the TMNT face, you might want to bring the lines just straight down and around. Straight down and around. But with this face, Mikey is a little bit on the happy side, so you're going to want to draw a little line here. And then just curve it. Like that. And then over here, kind of the same thing. It's darker on the other side, so you can't exactly see. But as we can see with the, we can kind of see where this little line right here from the earbuds is. You can see where it's kind of at. So kind of at. So we're gonna go ahead and just make a nice little circular area right here. Darken it in. Now, I'm gonna move my picture down a little bit further. As you can see, Mikey has a very pronounced jawline right here, which I have not actually placed in here. So we're going to go ahead and work that in like so. Very pronounced, cheeky little chin down there. Yes, cheeky. Actually, his cheeks would be up here. I don't know why I called it cheeky. I'm just being silly. Alrighty then. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just put the neck in, like so. Just curvy little line. A lot of curvy lines on this drawing. And then, you know what? I noticed that I've drawn the neck a lot longer than it is in this picture. A lot longer. You know what? That's okay. That's all right. We can fix that. You know what? You know what? Who cares? Yeah? It's my drawing. I'll do it the way I want to do it. Nobody gonna tell me how to do my drawing. You can't tell me how to draw my drawing. You don't own me. Okie doke. There's the neck. And you know what? I really don't need that. I can figure out what I'm doing here. I need my photo reference. Ah. Now that's one thing I want to actually touch upon really briefly. There are some people out there in the art world that look upon the use of photo reference as cheating. And I just want to go on record as saying that is completely ridiculous. You know, some people are just like, oh, you draw from photo reference? You suck. And that is completely silly. I mean, if the drawing looks good and you had to use photo reference to accomplish it, you did your job. Don't worry about what anybody thinks. That's stupid. It's, you know, it's just, that's pointless silliness. I mean, if you're tracing somebody else's work, okay, I can consider that cheating. But think about it. You're basically using your eyeballs to look at this video and learn how to draw a character. You know, that is a photo reference, a video reference, if you want to call it that. You know, it's just, it's silly to think that, you know, it's like you had to learn somewhere. You had to learn sometime. It's like saying you used your eyeballs to learn how to draw that drawing. You're a cheater. You know? When somebody tells you that you're cheating at art, just tell them to go shut up. You know? Leave me alone. Let me accomplish my art the way I want to accomplish it. You jerk. You know? People like that are kind of a bully. I know that word gets bandied about a lot these days, but it's really true. Sorry, I'm just rambling here because I'm at the point in the drawing where it's just, you're just essentially darkening lines in that are already there from the guidelines, just smoothing them out. But that's art in a nutshell. You know, you start off with a very rough shape, you start with a very rough concept, and then you start polishing it. And the really, really fun thing happens when you get to the end of a good drawing. You get to spend a lot of time, what a lot of artists call the polishing phase. And the polishing phase is just you basically going back and fixing the things that are wrong. And the more time you spend polishing your drawings, the better it's going to look. Now, if you're an impatient jerk like me, it may look like crap. I'm just going to box a shadow in here like so. Maybe draw some lines just to give you a general idea where it's supposed to be at. All right. I'm going to go ahead and work on the smile, which is a very simple little shape here. We're going to go ahead and just throw it in there. Follow that guideline. Clean up the work. Bring the little smiley lines in there like so. Now, I'm going to go back to a 4H pencil just so I can lightly hint at this. And this is going to be a final line. It's not going to be a guideline. But with all the new TMNT characters, I've noticed that they have this little ridge up here. Just a little line right about here-ish that defines the top of the snout and the middle of the snout, or the nose, or the bridge, whatever you want to call it. And there you go. That basically, in a nutshell, is the head for Mikey. Let's go ahead and move this up a little bit more. Did I make that flat enough? Did I make it? I think it worked out fine. I think it's fine. All right, I'm going to go ahead and darken this area in. Make that curve come down like so. Curve this right here. Darken this in. Maybe center it a little bit better. Now with this picture, it's so dark and the light is coming from, obviously from this side, from here. So there's no light coming from front on, so there's no hints. There's no highlights in his eyeballs. And typically, if the light was coming from the front, you might have these little circles within a circle, or 2 or 3 little highlights just to show the shimmer of the eye. But at this point, the light's coming from behind on the side, so you don't really have those highlights there, which is a nice attention to detail from the animators, if I do say so myself. Good job, animators. You did your job. Was that sarcastic sounding? I apologize. You never know, one of the TMNT animators might be watching this someday and go, "You're a rank amateur. You suck at drawing. I could do so much better." And all I gotta say to that is, alrighty then. Let's go ahead and darken that line in, and then I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna zoom in. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna zoom in straight in like that, and then just fill this area in. Make it dark, jet black. Ooh, you know what I could do? Hit it with my 4B pencil. That's one dark iris. People. Again, I'm being like Mark Crowley here. I don't know the names of things, and I'm trying to talk about them. Shameful. People, iris, people. I don't know. I'm an artist, people. I don't know the names of things. I just draw them. It's kind of like a Walmart employee. I don't know. I just work here. Perfect. All right, now I'm going to bring the 2B pencil and then establish the line right here, and here, and here. If you're working on digital art, that's on a digital art program, that's the very good benefit that you have. You can zoom in and then work on these little areas that might be problematic if you were just working on a piece of paper. You can darken things up, make it look smooth and pretty. Now, we're going to zoom out here and look at that, look at that, look at that. Give myself a self high five here in a minute. Bring it around town. Bring it around town. Bring it around. Okay, I'll stop. Oh, the caffeine is talking right now. And it says I'm a psychopath. All right. Here's the eyeballs. Ooh. Look at that. Oops, sorry. Look at that grin. I'm Mikey and I'm City. All right. I guess at this point I'll just keep darkening the lines in. Maybe a little hint of a muscle right here, and this one right here. And I don't know, just for grins, we'll put like a little shadow line right there, box it in. Clean this up right here a little bit. Because it is in shadow, we can go ahead and just make rough lines in there. Crud! Control Z, man, Control Z! Abort, abort! Okay, and I'm just going to zoom in because sometimes my Wacom tablet is very old and very inaccurate. I should get a new one. But I can't afford it. Somebody buy me a new Wacom, please. How shameful. I'm begging on the internet. What's wrong with me? You know, I'm going to go ahead and correct this line with a little bit of erasing. It just looks a little bit too much of a bulge here for my taste. Switch to that lower layer. There we go. Okay, back to the upper layer. Get out of here. All right, back to the pencil. Darken this line in. Trying to hurry here so I can finish up with this stupid thing. Do a little elbow line right there. Elbow line. That's the armpit. What the heck am I thinking? And you know what? When you're drawing digital art, you don't have to delete the entire lower layer if the lines look good, which I think I might leave some of these lines on the lower layer just because they're paler and they, you know, when you color things in, they don't need to be all dark, which I think I'm going to call that good. Yeah, with the turtle shell up here, I'm going to finish that off real quick like. Finish that line. Maybe put the little hinter lines in there like so. Hinter lines. Is that like the hinterland? Ooh, I know what I'm going to do. Get these little shadow lines in there just to make it nice and neat. Ooh. Finish that off. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup work here. I'm going to bring my friend the eraser in, and yeah, I'm going to start erasing some of these guidelines underneath here. Oh, I'm going to have to go ahead and finish that out. I forgot to do the rest of the head up there. Whoops. Boop. Bring it back in. Bring it back in. Bring it back in. See? You like I said, you might want to keep some of the lines on the lower layer. Just use that as like a little trick. Clean up, clean up, clean up, clean up. Now this would be like the phase, like a typical art. Whoa. Control Z, abort. This would be what you would do typically when you're inking a piece. You're erasing the pencil lines underneath and leaving the nice, clean, finished lines on the top. There we go. Oh, I gotta come back up here and finish this line up here. Otherwise, it's not gonna look good. I know what you're saying. It already doesn't look good. Ooh. It already doesn't look good. Looks like crap. And my response to that is, you're so mean. Quit telling the truth. Oop. I forgot to erase that right there. Alright, let's see how it looks. Pan out. Not too shabby. Maybe finish erasing this right here. Clean it up a little bit more. Yeah. No, wait. Oh, I gotta finish this off right here. So much to do, so little time. This video is going to be like an hour long, and nobody's going to watch it. There we go. That's the problem with art. It's all time. All right, I'm going to do one last little check here. See if there's any other lines that I want to place in here, outside of maybe just hinting at a shadow right here. Now, typically with the TMNT characters, if there was no shadow here, there might be like a couple lines right there, but not quite as rough as that. Yeah, you might want to bring, yeah, you got this little line right here to hint at the neck veins. You know, the neck veins. Let's go back up here to this layer. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. This has just been bothering me since the beginning of the video. I'm going to do it really quick, like, because I want to get this video done with really soon, like. Because I obviously have places to go and things to do. Stop adding to the drawing, you fool! Quit cleaning up. Let it go, man. I've decided that this particular drawing is going to be a multi-part thing. But that right there is the line work. And as you can hear, hopefully, I just put the pen down. So that's basically how you do the line work on TMNT right there. That is your basic way to set up the line work. And in the next episode, I'm going to start working on the color, if you guys are interested in this at all. Stammering on my own words. Anyways, I hope you found this tutorial helpful. I hope you enjoyed watching it. And if you made it all the way through to this point, you deserve a medal. My name has been J Bob. Ta-ta for now.